Hey guys, what's going on? So today I'm going to be reviewing, giving my first impression or like what I predict of the two new heroes. We have Flair and Cyclone. They're going to be released in a couple of days. So this video will, be prevalent for a few days. I would like you guys to leave your predictions on these heroes. I always do a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about these heroes on a scale of 1 to 5. We'll see who's the closest at the end. And when they're released, I will be streaming basically those first few moments of Eden and those heroes being released so we can test them. I'll pull, I guess we'll only test Cyclone, but pull her and test her then. So stay tuned, guys. Hopefully you enjoy. Hopefully my predictions are correct, or at least you learn something about these new skills and you can kind of come to your own decision. All right, guys, so like I said in the intro, I'll be predicting basically these two new heroes, Flair and Cyclone. I'm going to start off with Cyclone because she's going to be released first. She'll basically be released right when Eden starts for, states 1 through 800. So I'll talk about Cyclone first. So Cyclone's a support vehicle hero, and I did kind of cover this on the live stream that I just had last night. But some of the information will be reiterated. I've had a chance to look at him, more closely offline and kind of formulate my opinions better there. So it'll be a little bit more fine-tuned. So anyway, Cyclone is a support vehicle hero. We have a lot of support vehicle heroes, actually. A good number of them are basically support. They're either a support or damage dealer. Generally, for the most part, for vehicle heroes, Kamikaze and Sword of Retrograder are kind of the only two defense vehicle heroes, but Retrograder is honestly more of a support. So in any case, Cyclone's second ability is Wind's Will. So in the first 3 rounds, all ally squads damage dealt by normal attacks and passive skills are increased by 80%. So this is literally just 80% basic attack and passive skill increase. Generally, passive skills are gonna be something like plus 80% damage anyway, or something like every round you automatically do something. So basically it just means 80% more damage on normal attacks. Now that's not huge, mind you, but it's on all ally squads, and it's only for the first 3 turns. Additionally, there's a 100% chance to deal damage to enemies regardless of their dodging state. So all this means is basically enemies cannot dodge. That's all. It's kind of worded very weird, but basically it just means enemies can't dodge in the first three rounds. So evasion is completely ineffective against this girl for the first 3 rounds. Or not against this girl, but against the whole APC. So the other thing to note about this ability is that it's influenced by might. So when your squad, meaning Cyclone only, so that's what a squad is. A squad is just Cyclone and her troops. The APC or the formation is all 3 heroes and all of their troops. So basically, if you look at Cyclone's might number and you compare that with the enemy's might number or whatever, if Cyclone has more, the skill effects will be increased. If Cyclone has less might, the skill effects will be decreased. So basically it just means you want to stack as much might as humanly possible on this girl, and she'll be doing even more than she was before. Now, if you're much weaker, she's going to be dealing less. So it's kind of weird. We'll see how this plays. There is no number, so you have no idea. It could be 1% improvement and 1% kind of decrease, so who knows? Or it could be 100%. We just don't know. So this is kind of the one question mark variable that still sort of exists. She's just the same as every other basically season hero, 50% resistance, 50% might. Her 5th ability, Flow and Blow. This is kind of where she shines, I guess. So in the first 3 rounds, 80% chance for all ally squads to launch a mass attack, dealing an additional 260% damage to 2 other squads, apart from the target in normal attacks. So this is literally just splash damage. It seems like they hired a completely new person to write these, at least the English version, the English translations of these skills, because they're so weird. They're very, very convoluted, and they don't use any of the nomenclature that every other hero uses. So anyway, all this means is that it's splash damage, meaning if you're in the back row, you have a Huntress or whatever in the back row, and she does a basic attack, an auto attack, she's going to hit the front row target. It's also going to attack, or the back row, or whatever row, it doesn't matter. It's also going to attack the other 2 rows and deal 260% damage. So that's all it is. It's just regular splash damage. Iron Sentinel has the exact same thing, different numbers, but he has splash damage. Panther also has splash damage. So that's all it is. It's only for the first 3 rounds, and it's an 80% chance. So that's it. It's not going to be something like after every auto attack, there's splash damage. So if Huntress auto attacks 3 times, this Flow and Blow is not going to activate 3 times. It'll just be, once, potentially. I guess we're going to see if it activates every single time on her auto attacks. Then obviously this is a lot better than if it doesn't. So we'll see how that kind of works. You never can really judge these heroes straight off by paper because sometimes it's just written incorrectly, translation errors. Sometimes they're completely bugged and it just doesn't do what it says. And other times they just do completely different things. So her 6th ability, you get 100% vehicle combat speed. Basically just means she's going to use these abilities before anybody else. And that's kind of it. Her 7th, plus 40% might, which is great, especially because of this weird influence thing. But also she's going to give, again, I keep saying Huntress, but the reason why I keep saying Huntress, as you'll find out, is she's probably going to be paired up with Huntress. So in this case, she'll be giving Huntress 40% additional might, as well as whoever else. Her 8th ability, Howling Wind. It's a passive skill. After a normal attack, there's a 100% chance to deal 300% damage to the enemy squad with the lowest amount of soldiers, and 80% chance to deal an additional 25% damage, which lasts 2 rounds and can stack twice. So, the other big question on this is, does this count for other squads in your APC? What it sounds like is that it doesn't. So it's only when Cyclone auto attacks or normal attacks, she'll deal 300% extra damage. That's it. And then there's a chance that she'll deal this second kind of thing. Most likely it's not going to be after her teammate's auto normal attack. Also, otherwise she's going to be ridiculous. So just basically look at this as once a round, basically, she's going to be dealing another 300% damage on top of her basic attack. And then this thing deals an additional 25% damage. This could be worded completely incorrect or not. 25% damage is very, very small. That's like a quarter of a normal attack. If a normal attack does 1,000 damage, this is 250 damage. I guess it's just an additional, and it's 250 damage twice, so 500, but it just seems kind of weird. So, anyway, Cyclone, basically, it's pretty obvious what she does. She kind of enhances heroes that basic attack, so the splash ability here. It could work on every single basic attack. It could work once. I am not sure. We're going to kind of have to see. If it does work on every single basic attack, I think Cyclone will be a meta hero. If you have kind of other heroes like an Ivanov or Huntress or a Nomad, auto attack heroes, basically. If it doesn't, then I don't necessarily think Cyclone will be sort of that useful. I don't think she'll be replacing any of the current heroes, but if you don't have some of the other current meta heroes, you'll probably use her. So that's about it on Cyclone. She's fairly simple, and basically she's just going to be paired up with Huntress is kind of how it's going to fall. People are predicting that you're going to be running combinations like Huntress Cyclone, for example. It's going to be a really good combination. Potentially, again, it depends on how the splash damage thing works, but that's probably going to be the meta combo with Cyclone, or we'll see it's like Cyclone, Predator, Huntress. Who knows? I don't necessarily see that that's going to be better than Anna, but it certainly could be, again, if this applies every single time. Huntress can basic attack, twice, and then there's an extra 260. So I don't know. We'll see how it works, but in any case, it's basically pair her up with Anna, pair her up with Ivan. Sorry, not Anna. Pair her up with Huntress, pair her up with Ivan, and then one of the other, or a few of the other support heroes surrounding that. We might see something like Kamikaze, Cyclone, Huntress, or, different variations, or Kamikaze, Huntress, Cyclone, things like that. But that's basically going to be it. She's kind of going to fall into like one or two, maybe APCs. So not very adaptable, but potentially a pretty good support. Other than that, Cyclone looks pretty cool. So that's a positive for her. Overall, my prediction on Cyclone is quite likely, again, depending on her fifth ability, is kind of, and like this weird influence by might thing. If this decrease is like 60% or something, it's going to be really, really weird. But so we'll see. There are still some question marks, but my prediction is likely that she's going to be an upgrade to current combos, but not something that is just blows everybody out of the water. But you never know. Sometimes these weird support synergy heroes do really kind of affect the meta. Overall, I'm going to give Cyclone a 4 out of 5, potentially a 3 out of 5, but it teeters between 3 or a 4 out of 5. So that's Cyclone. Let's move on to Flair. Flair is the second of 2 of these new heroes. Flair Vincent doesn't look nearly as cool, in my opinion. So already a point down for Flair. He's a defense fighter, just like all the other fighters, basically. They all seem to be defense. Kind of just tankies. So let's just jump right into his abilities. His second ability, Flare Blade, it's a status skill, effective range of 5. This is important, by the way. The types of skills are becoming more and more important. And I'll kind of jump into that a little bit later when I talk about the APCs on him. But there are different types. There's combat, prep, status, types like that. Generally, they don't have that much effect, but they do with certain combinations, certain APC combinations. So when under normal attacks, the hero squad deals 250% counterattack damage to the attacker. So literally, it's just a counterattack, and the counterattacks are on a lot of heroes: Viscount, Juggernaut, Kamikaze, Flair. Now, 250%'s not bad. So it's going to be every single time he gets attacked, he's going to deal 250% counterattack. I'll show you the example that I used on livestream was Juggernaut. So Juggernaut also has a counterattack. He deals 120% damage, so it's basically double Juggernaut's damage. However, Juggernaut basically does 0 damage. So doubling 0 is 0. So it's not really going to do a lot of damage. His third and fourth are exactly the same as always. His fifth ability is Burning Armor, and this is what's getting everybody hyped up around this guy. Again, we have this influence by resistance. It's the exact same thing as Cyclone's, except completely opposite. So it's based on if you have more resistance on Flare than your enemy, you're gonna all of his this ability is going to deal more damage or whatever. If you have less, it's going to deal less. So yeah. Anyway, the ability is Burning Armor. Damage to the hero's squad is reduced by 25%, so just pure damage reduction at all times. When he takes damage, the hero squad gains 30% might, and that is effective till the end of battle, can be stacked up to 10 layers. So that's any form of damage. This is basic attack damage, this is skill damage, this is damage over time, so an ability like Burn or Curse, or even Cyclone's ability, her 8th ability where it's going to deal that additional damage. It's going to be stacking up his Burning Armor. What's interesting about this ability is that it stacks might and not resistance. You would think a defense fighter, you would stack resistance, but it doesn't. So let's think about realistically how long it's going to take for this to ramp up. At the start of the match, he's going to have 0, right? obviously. If you take damage, so if you put him in the front row, he's going to be taking a lot more damage, and you're kind of going to be forced to put him in the front row potentially, which is another reason why I think it's kind of weird that he's getting might and not resistance. So anyway, you put him in the front row, he's going to take at least 3 damages pretty much per round from just the enemy basic attacks, and then any skills additionally. So, I mean, this will stack up for fairly quickly. Within the first 3 rounds of basically every single battle, he'll have 30% might times 10. So he'll have an additional 300% might from rounds, 4 and on. So that's quite a lot. 300% might is definitely a lot, especially in battles, when people don't have full cutting edge and they don't have full Baneblade and stuff like that. So kind of the lower level players, 300% might is huge. So next we'll move on to his 6th ability, plus 15% damage is basically the difference. Again, weird considering he's a defense fighter hero. So interesting. His 7th is also plus might, which is even more interesting. So basically this guy is like a damage dealer who you put in the front row. Kind of weird. His 8th ability is Flair of Annihilation. Again, another status skill, effective range of 5. Each round, he makes 1 to 2 random enemy squads enter the burning state. Burning state is exactly like it has been for, Scarlet Siren and other heroes like that. They take 150% damage, and it lasts 1 round. When this hero squad takes action, he'll deal an additional 350% damage to enemy squads in burning state. So what I find really weird is that it makes 1 to 2 random enemy squads. I'm assuming this is literally just a 50-50 chance. So it's either 1 or 2, just 50-50. Not really sure. Yeah. So the 150% extra damage is kind of not terribly important. I mean, it's a little bit of damage. It's not going to be a whole lot, especially because he's, it's just like 150 damage. It's basically an auto attack. But the thing is, deals an additional 350% damage to enemy squads in burning state. With all his extra might and extra damage and stuff like that, this will be doing a decent amount, but it's not incredibly high. What you really need to do with this hero, potentially to kind of put him above a level, is put him with other burning heroes. So it doesn't say that they have to be burning by him. So Scarlet Siren, Executioner, I believe actually Hunk potentially has burning. Is that correct? Or am I crazy? So, yeah, flammable status, which is burning status. Basically, they're the exact same thing. So, pairing him up with those types of heroes is going to be quite good. There's also Executioner. Executioner gives burning status as well, but it's a really low percentage chance, and it's not that often. So, yeah, I mean, she will be burning targets as well, meaning he'll be doing more damage. Inquisitor also plays around with burning status, I guess I should say. I forget which one it is. Right here. If the target is a flammable status, there's a 50% chance to suppress them. So there might be some weird synergy with this new heroine, like Inquisitor and Executioner or something like that. That combo used to exist, Inquisitor Executioner. Maybe pairing it up with this new Flair guy would actually be decent. You'd have a good chance of suppressing people fairly regularly, but who knows. In any case, this 350% damage, let's just assume for the entire game, the entire battle, all 3 enemies have burning status. So he's going to be dealing this 350%. Best case scenario, that the entire game after round 1, because this will take effects, basically round 2 and on. So after round 1, they have it the entire game. That's 1050. So 1,050 damage every single round. Pretty solid. Not enormous. So let's see, 1050. So it's probably going to be something like basically 10,000 damage per total, mind you. 10,000 damage total every single round. So at the end of battle, this will do roughly 80,000 damage, 70,000 damage. That's definitely good, but it's not going to be somebody like, Huntress does like 200,000 damage, right? So pretty solid. The one concern about Flair is he doesn't pair well with. And again, that is best case scenario. I should stress it again. That is best case scenario is his 8th ability alone is probably going to be dealing 70,000 damage. His counterattack, again, I mean, Juggernauts does like 2 damage, but Flare Blade has extra might, like a lot of extra might over Juggernaut, 340% theoretically. He's plus 15% damage, so he's probably going to realistically be doing like 3 to 4 times the counterattack damage of Juggernaut, which again, the counterattack damage of Juggernaut is literally like 4,000 damage a game. So even quadrupling that, it's like, let's just say he quintuples that and you'll deal 20,000 damage a game. So overall, 100,000 damage on this guy. I don't know. Doesn't seem great to me. He has no CC, no support. He's a damage-dealing fighter, which, as we've seen through history, damage-dealing fighters are generally weak. So I don't know. Obviously nobody knows. We don't know until we know. But my prediction on Flair, my first look prediction on Flair is that he's not going to be that amazing. Potentially he fits into like a 5th APC. But I don't believe he's going to be kind of top of the meta. Even if he has his maximum damage output, it's probably going to be 100,000. I mean, unless these numbers are just completely irrelevant and the devs just do whatever they want, which, again, could happen. He'll be doing 100,000 damage per game, which isn't anything extraordinary. Even with this additional might stuff here. It's really not that extraordinary. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll kind of see how this Flair Vincent guy works. Overall, I'm probably going to give him a 2 out of 5, honestly. Maybe a 3 out of 5. I'll be fair and give him a 3 out of 5. If you can get some good combinations with like Inquisitor Flair Executioner, maybe we'll see him doing good. Maybe Hunk. I don't know. I feel like that'd be kind of strange because Hunk's kind of weird, but maybe Hunk Flair Executioner or something like that, or Hunk Flair Inquisitor. I'm not sure. I feel like that's really the only opportunities for this guy to do much of anything. So he doesn't pair well with Scorpion. It doesn't seem like he's going to really pair well with too many heroes. You sort of have to put him in the front row. Otherwise, he's not going to stack up his might. He's not going to counterattack. So he's basically forced in the front row, which kind of reduces a lot of the options for him. So, don't know. Don't think Flair is going to be amazing, but he could, I could be completely wrong. So I don't even know if Flair will be a meta hero at all. If he is, I think it'll be kind of a niche 5th APC for people to use like with S2 heroes or maybe Hunk, some of the heroes that aren't currently used. You could see him with Scarlet Siren, potentially, but it would break up the Scorpion combos, and I don't really know how that's going to go. So, in any case, that is my kind of initial predictions on these 2 new heroes. Right off the bat, I mean, I think it's fair to say neither of these heroes are going to completely break the game, which is probably a good thing, I guess, because Scorpion kind of has completely upended the meta last season, and people are still trying to catch up to Scorpion. So if they did it again, it'd be people would first try to catch up to Scorpion and then catch up to one of these 2 new heroes. So I doubt it's going to be a completely, necessary season to recruit these heroes. With that said, keep in mind, on release date for Cyclone, I will be streaming. I will be testing her out live So, you can suggest combos for me to use. We can look at the data. You can be like, oh, try Cyclone plus Lone Wolf, or like, so, I don't know. Don't ask me that because that's going to be terrible. But yeah, stuff like that. So it's always a lot of fun. So all I'm saying is join that if you want. Also, the following week, Flair will be released. The following Monday, Flair will be released, and I will do the exact same thing for Flair. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully, these guys are... Either it's like a clear, decisive don't go for these guys, or a clear, decisive do go for these guys, so I can let you know. And then on Wednesday, so I recommend for most people, don't pull it on Monday. Don't pull these heroes on Monday. I know it's hard to, be patient, but don't pull them on Monday. I will pull these heroes. I mean, unless you're like a super whale and it doesn't really matter, then obviously go for it. But I will pull them on Monday. I will test them out, see if they're worth your time. And then I'll push out, kind of, I guess, my second thoughts on these guys. And then see if it's worth it for you guys. And you can pull them on that Wednesday when they're released. Also, on the first 2 weeks, these heroes are released for an entire week. So you can also pull it on the free development day. So even if you're still confused on Wednesday, you can pull it on the free development day as well. So just keep that in mind. And I generally recommend not going for these heroes on Monday. So that's about it. I know it's been a kind of a long video. Hopefully I've explained these skills well enough for you guys to also form your own opinions. Like I said in the beginning, please leave it in the comments what you guys think of these heroes. For Flair, again, to recap, 3 out of 5. Don't think he'll be super meta, but maybe we'll find some niche combos and maybe he'll fit into a 5th APC. For Cyclone, I think a 4 out of 5. I think she's going to be used across the board on like every maxed base, basically. If you have Huntress, you're probably going to want to get her. Last thing to say about Cyclone, I forgot to say that. Can't believe I forgot. A lot of people are talking about Cyclone's abilities for tiling. A lot of this, that's like the thing that's on everyone's mind. Is it going to be better than Panther? I don't know. It could be. If she is better than Panther, so if Ivanov, Sven, Cyclone is the meta combo for taking tiles, then it boosts Cyclone's value by a ton, because she'll be good for tiles and combat, which is what almost no hero is currently. I mean, Ivanov used to be very, very good for combat, so did Panther, but they're not like at the top of their game. So Cyclone could be that kind of first hero. We'll try it out. We'll try out tiles for her for sure. So that's about it, guys. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Hopefully you've had fun watching. I will see y'all soon. Stay safe. Stay healthy out there. Be kind. Eat some damn pizza. Alright, catch you guys later. Need to do it on my own, yeah.
Wake up, early mornings, late nights, hopping on a different flight. What's the meaning of life, ayy? Wake up, same-ish, different day. Make a wish, call it pray. Am I sick, am I okay, ayy? Stay up